What is up, guys? Welcome to a new video. This is the second video of my new YouTube series where I'm going to explain how to make a progressive house track from start to finish. And to make it, I'm going to use my track alone. If you want to listen to my track, it is out everywhere. You can listen to it on YouTube, Spotify, etc. And you can download it for free on SoundCloud. And in the previous video, we saw how to get nice chords, don't make it sound so simple, add a bit of variation to it, and also how to create a melody if you have any idea, and if you already have a melody, how to make it sound better with better rhythm and adding some little notes between the main notes of the melody. Today what we're gonna do is to create a drop, because when I have the chords and the melody, I always try to make a drop to see if it really works. And if it doesn't work, I always change things. So we're gonna see how to choose the best leads, how to choose the best chords and the bass lines. So let's go to it. Alright, so to make things faster, I already loaded all the leads, the chords and the bass lines I use on my track. And these are just layers from FL Studio. You can click here on layer. So I'm going to tell you why I chose those leads. The first one is a load lead. Alright, I don't have any plugin on the mixer. This is a mid lead. It has a bit more of mid frequencies. This is it's just a silent. This is a Nexus. I'm not gonna open it because I have a problem with Nexus, and when I open it, I don't know why, but FL Studio crashes. It's just, this is the main lead. This is an ARP lead. And this is the top lead. Okay, now with the chords, I have low chords. I have, this is just a silent. I have high chords and top chords. Then with the bass line, I have the main bass, a box bass. Sorry, I open it. We're lucky FL Studio didn't crash. And a high roll bass, and finally just a sub bass. I'm going to cut all the highs. Normally I use the 3x OSC, but in this case I just used the silent for the sub bass. And I forgot to say that on the main lead, it is, so if you want to use it on your tracks, it is the lead called VA lead in the Dance Volume 1 pack, so from Nexus. Let's go to it. What I'm going to do is first copy these two things and create a new pattern that's gonna be called leads. I'm gonna paste, and I'm gonna move this here. Now if I play this, it's not gonna sound anything because I don't have this synth linked to the layer. So what you have to do is open it, select all of this, just maintain the left click, click it, right, and move down and set children. Now if I play here anything, everything sounds alright. Let's do the same with the chords. Let's do the same with the bass line. But here on the bass line, what I have to do is to take out these sounds, these notes, sorry. So we only have the bass, but it's too low. We'll see which note is better. And now the same with the sub bass. It's too high. Yeah, probably this one is better. So now what I'm gonna do is link all of these sounds to the mixer channel. So I select all of them. I click here, for example, on the 20. Channel routing starting from this track, and all of those are linked together. And now here I'm going to create a bus called the leads. And for the buses, I always use this color because it pops out more.
A few moments later.
Alright, so now what you have to do is to link all of these different mixer channels to the bus. Okay, so what I do is click Ctrl Shift and the left click, so I can select some different mixer channels, and right click, route this track only. So now all of them are linked here. Alright, so let's do the same with the chords, with the bass line, and the sub doesn't need because it's already a bus. Alright, so now what we have is just this. It's a really simple drop without any effect, any sidechain, any kick, anything. sounds bad, right? So now what we have to do is to start adding some effects to the channels. And to make this faster, I'm going to load the effects I have on my track, and I will explain why I use those effects.
6.5 hours later.
Alright, so now I have all the effects I used in all those synths. If any color changes because of the settings I had on my track, on my original track. And I'm going to go step by step. I'm going to take out the effects of all the buses. As you can see, I cut all the highs because I just wanted the mid-low part of this sound. Okay. Then with the mid-lead, what I did is to cut the lows because on the leads you don't really want the sub bass. And I cut all the highs also because I have all, some leads that already have the high energy. So it sounds like this. With the main lead, what he did is 3 EQs. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but it's how it is. With this one, I cut all the lows. I got the very top end. Here, I felt like it has too much mids, and also with this one, I cut a resonance. As you can see, this note is super high, so I didn't really want that. With this second one, I decreased it a bit on the area of 4 or 5K. It sounds a bit cleaner. With this, it sounds like really distorted. Like for me, it remembers like it sounds like in a can. And with this, I cut just a little frequency resonance here, and I cut a bit more on the highs. I cut a lot of the highs because I have the ARP lead and top lead to cover that area. So on the ARP lead, I have this setting, and to make this feeling of an ARP, you just click on ARP and step by step. Okay, so it will keep doing this. I use this in some tracks because it adds a lot of energy to the melody. You know, it makes the lead sound go faster. And finally, on the top lead, just a little bit of Q. I open it the sound a bit, just a little bit. And I decreased a bit here also because I felt like it wasn't really a nice sound here. So all of them together sound like this. Also on the low lead, I increased the merge, you know, so it sounds more mono, because this way I have this lead on the center. And now a thing that I don't really recommend you to do, I did it, but now I'm trying to don't overdo it, and is to use so much plugins. You know, I have these leads, all these plugins, but then they go to this channel and they have more. First we have the Saturn, to saturate a bit and bring back those leads, those highs. Then a little bit of delay, because this way if you put delay and then you put the reverb, you're gonna have more space coverage, so the reverb is gonna sound like bigger, you know. These are the settings. If you want to copy them, you can. Normally I use a bigger decay, but for this track I felt this was the best setting. If you want, you can check my video about reverbs. I will link up here, where I don't put the reverb and the delay here as an insert. Okay, I use a send channel here, so I can control more the reverb, and I can use a technique when the lead sounds, the reverb decreases a bit the volume, so you have more dry signal on the leads. But in this track I felt it sound good this way, so I just keep it like this. Then an EQ to cut more here and to increase a bit on the highs and to cut the lows. Then OTT, I also have a video about this. I will link also here, and I think it's one of the best plugins nowadays. They give a lot of energy. Another EQ to cut more. Another EQ to cut a bit here and increase the highs, because as I was cutting all the resonance, I lost some highs. The L1 limiter to limit the peaks of the leads, so the sound is more uniform. They stay together. This plugin recreates the filter of the DJM mixers, all right, the Pioneer mixers, and I like a lot for the build-ups. This is also an EQ filter I used. Now here what they have is the kickstart to this to half sidechain, all right. Okay, not that much. So it decreases when the kick hits, and it adds that rhythm, the pumping effect, but not that much. Also, Ozone 5 imager to make it sound wider. To open the leads. This is just because I have a vocal on the track, and there is a place where the leads and the vocal are working together. So I had to decrease here a bit to leave a space for the vocals, and just a fruity balance, because when I'm working on the track and doing the arrangement, what I like to do is to decrease the volumes in some part, you know. And if I use this, what happens is then when I'm going to try to mix the track, it's going to be a mess, because if, for example, I have this sound, this volume here, and I want to decrease a bit on a section, and I create an automation clip, then if I touch this, every time that it goes to automation clip, it will go again to the original point. So I use the fruity balance to control the volume on all these parts. Alright, going really quick to the chords. What I like to do on the chords, and I did on this track, is first click Alt U to chop the chords, so it has more rhythm. And if we go sound by sound, we have the low chords. I cut all the highs because I like the bass of these chords, of this sound. The high chords, where I cut the mids and the lows because I only wanted the highs, because the mids and the lows are already covered by this sound. And then the top chords, because I felt like with these two I needed some brightness. So this one add that little brightness on the chords. And if we go to the bass, as you can see, it's a bit close, so it's a bit mono, because they were too much open. I have a Saturn. I like a lot this plugin. I'm not using it that much nowadays, but it sounds pretty good. And with this basic saturator, it makes everything sound brighter. Now the reverb is the same as the leads, but with a bit more of mix, so they are a bit more on the back. Now OTT. EQ. With this EQ, what I did is cut all the sub, so I leave a space for the sub and the bassline. I cut here and here a bit, because this way I leave a space for the leads, and I cut the very high end. The limiter to make it stable. MSAD. This plugin, I think it's free, and it's really nice because you can use, for example, the imager or the S1 from Waves, but what you do there is to open the sound, and it really what it really does, I think, is to increase the sides. Okay, with this one, what you can do is to decrease the mid section, but you don't touch the sides. So with that, what you do is it creates the effect of opening the sound, but what it really does is to reduce the mid signal, so I have more space there to have the bassline on the leads. Alright, so what I did is decrease by 1 dB on the center and increase a bit on the sides to maintain the same volume, and I have more space for the leads. Also the DJM filter, pretty balanced to control the sound during the track. Kickstart, a bit harder than the leads, and just a little EQ edit at the end. Okay, now going to the bassline, I have the main bass. where I cut here to clean a bit the sound and to leave a space for the chords on the leads. Here, because it has a resonance, to cut the sub for leave a space for the sub, and the highs because I have a high bass, and also an OTT. You felt it sound good. The Vox bass, where what they do is first of all make it sound more in the center, so it has more power there. I add this effect, the effector, so it sounds like a voice, and this EQ. And finally this roll bass, where I cut all this area and a bit of the highs, so they together sound like this. And if we add the effects on the bus, we have first an EQ, camel crusher to make it sound fatter, OTT, Saturn. So as you can see on the bassline, I use a lot of distortion, so they sound really dirty. An EQ. This is really crazy because I tweak that when I'm mixing, and I leave a space for for example here I think it's for the leads, also for the leads, this maybe for the chords. Multiband compression. I never use this plugin, I don't know why I really use it here, but it sounds nice. These two plugins I already said. The kickstart, I use this one. Okay, just a little bit to add the pumping effect I like, but then I use this volume shaper to go better with the sub bass, because I want the bassline to go together with the sub bass, like they are one thing, you know. So I use the first kickstart to add the rhythm, and then this second one to go with the sub bass, you know. And finally the sub bass. Don't forget the sub bass. First of all, we cut all the mids and the highs. So we only have the sub. I think I took this preset from Silent and not just a real normal sine wave, because it has more energy here, has more harmonics. Then I de-glue to compress a bit the bass. This is for the break only, it's just an EQ. A limiter. I want it to sound really flat, you know, but if you do that, it adds distortion. So I had to cut again the highs, and with this one I cut the really low end because you don't really need this, and here because it was too strong. The balance, and here like in the bassline, just this one to add a bit of the rhythm. Yeah, this one is just for the breakdown. Okay, so as I used a lot of plugins for Studio Crashes, as you can see, so I recorded here the entire drop. So now what do we need? Just a kick. I'm going to use this one. So now we have the drop. Now we can continue working from here, because as you can see the drop sounds really flat, doesn't have effects, doesn't have anything interesting really. But as we can see, the melody works, the chorus works, so everything works now. So this means the melody is nice. So from here we can continue or working on the breakdown, or keep continuing working on the drop, and see what we can add to make it sound interesting, to make it sound more energetic, you know, more powerful. Sorry if this video was a bit longer than others. I will try to make the rest of the videos shorter, but I had to explain a lot of things on what sounds I used, what effects, and why. just that, guys. If you have any comments, leave it in the comment section. All right. If you like this video and if you want me to keep continuing making these kind of tutorials and this YouTube series, and you want to know how to continue working on a progressive house track, leave it in the comments. I will export all the different patterns, all right, the leads, the chords, and the bass line, and so on. So in the tutorials, FL2 doesn't crash. And just that, guys. Leave a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed so you don't miss any of these new videos. And guys, see you in the next video.